fairly close contest, and I suspect that this round will be tighter still, because three of our grand finalists won the observation round in their respective group finals, and the other was second. Coming up, a short, specially shot video sketch containing 6 deliberate continuity errors. Changes in costume, props, dialogue, or action that shouldn't have happened. The challenge to the grand finalists, and to you, is to spot all 6. Tonight we once again feature Steve Coogan, this time as Melvin Bragg, and joining us for the grand final, special guest star Kathy Starr. So, turn to your screens please, contestants. Concentrate hard as we now delve into the world of the performing arts.
Agnes Spaulding went from domestic charlady to an opera singer of international acclaim in just 13 days. How could it happen, one might ask?
Well, I blame the aerosols.
So you're saying there's an ecological motive for your singing?
No. I was cleaning for Mr. Petrucci. He had a gate-leg table that just didn't want to shine. Anyway, he were too tight-fisted to buy me a tin of beeswax, so I had to make do with the aerosols.
But isn't it true, Annie, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this a classic case of proletariat frustration in a capitalist society? Aren't you really saying that you started singing to vent your plebeian anger?
Eh? Oh, no. I just didn't want to inhale the fumes. I used to run through a few bars of Amapola to stop the squirty stuff getting up my nose. Mr. Campanelli came back from work early one day and heard me singing. He said, "Do you want a job?" I said, "Is it worth more than this £2 an hour?" And he said, yes.
And since then, you've performed all over the world, including, of course, the great Carnegie Hall.
That's right, Melvin. And I'm singing for the Pope this Christmas, apparently.
But surely this has changed your working-class lifestyle beyond recognition.
No way. I still do my stuff with a Hoover Junior. One little luxury, though. I've got rid of my bus pass.
You're wonderful. Brilliant.
Well, I don't think of waiting in queues. You get maids in queues, don't you?
That's the lot. Turn to the front, please, grand finalists, and start writing down what you think the 6 continuity errors were. And already some furious scribbling going on, so while they get on with it, I'd like to say a big thank you to Steve Coogan, who has featured in nearly all the observation rounds of the series and has done a marvellous job. And of course, a special thank you to Kathy Starr, the powerful and rather unusual Brunhilde. But now for you at home, here are those 6 continuity errors.
Number 1 was a props change. A packet of breakfast cereal was in the shopping basket to start with, but it disappeared a little later in the sketch. Then a dialogue mistake. Agnes Spaulding was later called Annie.
But isn't it true, Annie, and correct me if I'm wrong?
Number 3, another name error.
I was cleaning for Mr. Petrucci.
But it wasn't Petrucci later on.
Mr. Campanelli came back from work early one day.
Next, an action props change. The Hoover that had first separated Dame Agnes and her Viking disappeared when we next saw them. Number 5 was a costume change. There was nothing in Melvin's pocket for most of the sketch, but a handkerchief was in it at the end. And finally, the opera. Die Walküre at the beginning, but Attila de Hun at the end.
Well, have our grand finalists continued to shine in this round? Well, the answer is an emphatic yes, and here's how it worked out. Liz, you spotted 4. Phil, you also got 4. And Den, you got 4 as well. So you all finished joint second in this round, but Mike, you did brilliantly, spotting 5 changes, and you win the round. Well done. And all those points now are entered into the scoreboard. And look at that, he has stretched his lead with a Krypton Factor now of 26. It's the recruitment consultant from Bristol, Mike Berry.